Well, hey, hot mamas, how you doing today? Are you still struggling to lose weight? Well, let's kiss. Keep it simple, sister. I'm Betty Vargas, and I educate pre-peri and postmenopausal women on how to live more vibrantly through better applications of my 3 keys of mindset, meals, and movement. Now, I just turned 69 last month, and I've never been on any medication, never had high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, or heart disease issues. I've never been overweight, and until I reached menopause. Well, post-menopause specifically. My last period was when I was at age 58. And so it's been a while since I've been postmenopause. Now, I've not had any hormone replacement therapy because it wasn't really discussed in my circle when I was younger, and I had a fear about it because during its experimental phases, my mom died taking the pill, and we all know that that's estrogen. And so, but that's another story. But I felt great. And this is the perfect storm of how it happened for me. I felt great when I was in my 40s and my 50s. And, I see all these women in their 40s and 50s thinking, yes, I'm rocking this menopause. But because I was eating well and exercising regularly and my life wasn't stressful, and that I think was key. Then a series of life events affected me in my late 50s, and that threw me off track. I was stressed, which increased my cortisol levels, and stress affected my exercise, which slowed down my metabolism, and the lack of exercise affected my diet, which resulted in weight gain. And with the fluctuations of my estrogen levels, it was a perfect storm for the menopause symptoms to come rushing down on me. Now, what I learned is what I'm going to talk about today, the importance of mindset. And so what I do now is I breathe. So taking steps to taking deep breaths. And this is what I'm sharing with you, is what I learned is to, just breathe. When you're in a stressful situation, just take some deep breaths. 7 is a good number. And breathing through your nose and through your abdominal area, into your abdominal area. As you inhale, expand your belly like a balloon, and then slowly exhale. And this will quiet the knots in your stomach and allow you to reflect on the distressful situation with a concerned detachment. And that's key. You want to be in a situation where you are calm, because when you're calm, you can focus on what's really happening and not react from an emotional standpoint. The next thing that I would like for you to reflect on is visualization and relaxation. So take a bathroom break. And I mean this, go and sit in the bathroom. If you're at work, make sure it's a clean stall, and visualize a serene setting. Picture a beautiful island in the Caribbean or the Pacific, and see yourself relaxing and enjoying yourself in complete control of your life without a worry in the world, because this is changing your mindset around what's going on. And another thing, take a stress break. Get some, and by a stress break, what I mean is get someone to massage your shoulders and your neck and your brow, because by relieving the blocked muscular tension in these areas, you increase your circulation to the brain. And this also helps to reduce the onset of attention headache. And all of these are mindset tools that you can use to de-stress in certain situations or stressful situations. Also, hug somebody. And I'm not saying hug anybody, but hug someone. It's a wonderful way to calm down and to positively distress, and discharge like stress energy that's building up inside you. And we all know what happens when we have a really good hug. It's like a wonderful deep breath. You can, when you have a hug from someone, and you not just one of those, it's like a good hug. It allows your heart to just say, so I love it. So let's see. I see the chat going on here. Okay, what's going on? Angela says, yes. Ask for permission before hugging, unless, of course, it's someone you love. If it's someone you love, they're going to welcome that hug, And Marianne says, I love hugs. Let me see if I can pull this up. No, I'm past that one. I can't get you, Marianne. But hey, girl, hey, I'm glad for you to join me today. I love seeing you in the chat. So now that was the mindset piece. And what I'm looking at, the next thing is, that's the importance of mindset. The next one I'm talking about is the importance of exercise. And as a personal trainer with over 20 years experience, I believe movement is the key to the fountain of youth. I believe that with all my heart. And baby, let me tell you, it's so much more important to stay active in your 60s and beyond than any other time in your life. Let me just say that. And I'm telling you that from experience. And let me just say this also, if your waist measurement is over 35 inches, let's be frank, you need to engage in an exercise program. And I just want to say that I'm working on something that I'll tell you about soon, so stay tuned. But I cannot impress upon you the importance of doing some kind of physical activity. And Angelo says movement is the key to weight loss as well. Absolutely. And so it's not, it's exercise is, but stick with me here. Stick with me. And, in terms of exercise, you also want to be consistent in the activities that you choose. Exercise doesn't always mean going to the gym and working out, because people associate exercise or working out with work. And so it should be something that you're engaging in that is fun. And so you can't do one sit-up and then expect to have a six-pack. So you got to be consistent. You got to, whatever it is that you're going to do it consistently. And also, I want you to know that lifting weights is not a bad thing. And lifting heavy is not a bad thing. And I'm not saying go to the gym and grab a weight that you can barely pick up. No, that's not what I'm saying. You start small, start light, and as you get stronger, don't be afraid to get heavier weights, because the increase in muscle will burn the fat along with consistent cardio activity. So Don't be afraid to go to the gym. Don't be afraid to lift heavy. Don't be afraid of weight, because it will give you not only the beautiful body that you desire, but it'll also help you. The weight training protects your bones. It burns the visceral fat that's around your organs, and so it's vital to lift weights. And I've been lifting. My sons are 40 years old. And I was bench pressing them when they were babies. So that's how long I have been lifting weights. And I don't think I look like a man. I don't think I'm looking like, really, I don't look bad now. And at 69, I think I'm looking pretty decent, So I am a living witness that lifting heavy will not make you bulky. Another thing I want to share with you is to just be patient. The fluctuations in your hormone levels are they may be out of control. So just be patient with yourself, because even if you do take HRT, hormone replacement therapy, and there are lots of women who do, it's not a magic pill. So just be patient with yourself, be consistent with what it is that you desire to do, and stick with your program. Now that moves me now. When Angelo mentioned that movement is the key to weight loss, also there's another thing that's important, and that's eating well. So when you hear people say you can't exercise away a bad diet, it's especially true when you hit your 60s. But don't despair. You can overcome. Because I used to think that, when I was a trainer, I used to think that exercise was the be all end all. But then when I became a health coach and understood the importance of nutrition in your diet and how it can assist in that weight loss, it's extremely important. And now you can't have one without the other, especially postmenopausal, and it's important to get these things in check during either premenopause. That's the most ideal time. But when you're perimenopausal, it's extremely important to focus on getting your eating and your exercise in check, so that you can postmenopausal have a better quality of life. And also, I want to mention to eliminate processed foods. You got to do it. I'm sorry to say this, but, I used to eat processed food back in the day when I was extremely young. Well, yeah, extremely young, in my early 20s. But now I don't even want to call it food at this point. And what I want to impress upon you is that low fat equals high sugar. So if you are reading a label that says low fat, what they did was they took out the fat but increased the sugar in order to make it palatable for you to consume. So low fat equals high sugar, and high sugar equals weight gain. Okay, so you got to eliminate the processed foods. There's no way around it. And what I also want to share is that if you have high blood pressure or diabetes, it's extremely important for you to eliminate the processed foods, because they are detrimental to your biometric numbers. Now, one thing that I live by is the 90-10 rule. And so 90% of the time I eat a plant-based diet. Well, actually For me, well, yeah, for me, it's 90% of the time. And that is whole foods, some grains, nuts, and some seeds, minuscule, but the majority of the time I'm eating plants, vegetables, and fruits. And then 10% of the time is like special occasions when you want to treat yourself. Every now and then you may want to have a piece of cake, or, whatever your, chocolate, or whatever your treat is. And if you do it 90% of the time, that's fine, because your body is not going to reject it. Well, it may. Let me just say, you may feel the effects of it, because there are some foods that I was in denial about, and when I became menopausal, like bread, where my body was just like, no, we're not doing that anymore. You're gonna bloat. And my denial was that, okay, I can deal with this. I'm gonna eat the bread. And my body was like, no, we don't like that anymore. And so I had to stop, because the reality is, how do you want to feel? I wanted to feel good all the time. And so feeling good all the time means that I need to eliminate these foods from my diet. And so now I'm loving the way that I feel, because I'm eating foods that my body enjoys and that my body loves now. And so that's why I'm sharing with you that, if you want to continue to feel good and have a wonderful quality of life, then, as you get into the upper years, you just have to get rid of those foods. You have to get rid of them. And let me just say this, there are people who say, I have a cheat diet, I have a cheat day. Don't say you're cheating, because that implies that you're denying yourself of something that you desire, and that it's wrong. And it's not. Just do what you eat, what it is that you have a craving for, and get back on your program the next day. Because here's the kicker. If you don't eat enough, you're going to gain weight. You're going to gain weight. If you're decreasing calories down to next to nothing, your body is going to hold on to the fat that's already there, and you're going to continue to gain weight. So take it from me. Eat healthy, eat enough calories, eat a clean, what people consider clean is like plant-based diet with whole foods, nuts, grains, seeds, and just eliminate all of the processed foods. Just eliminate it, or 10% of the time, which is next to nothing. And I know I'm probably losing some people here, but I'm telling you, there is just no way around it if you want to live a healthy life. And also, I want to share with you too, when you go to the grocery store, shop with a list. Shop with a list, because there's so many things, there's so many distractions in the grocery store that are marketing to you. All of the from the music, from the time you step into the store, you're being marketed to. And so those are the ways that you need to be aware of, so that you're armed and ready. And I'll share this. When grocery stores were entering health foods into their stores and stocking their shelves with organic foods, organic foods were in one section. And so people like me would go in the store, go into the organic section, and just go there, buy my food, and leave. Well, the stores got wise to that. And so now they've integrated all of the healthy foods or the organic foods with all of the other unhealthy foods. And so this is one of the subliminal messages that gets you to see other things that may not be so healthy, and then you wind up picking them up just because it's there and you see it and it's eye level. So be aware of the ways that you're being marketed to in the grocery stores and on the grocery shelves, because all of the major foods, the foods and the unhealthy foods are all at eye level. And so, just be aware. That's a whole nother video. But anyway, if it's not in your house, this is the key. If it's not in your house, it's not in your mouth. So if you do the cooking, you have the power. So whatever it is that you're doing whatever it is that you choose to do with your health, do it for not only you, but your family as well. And now the one other thing that I want to share is the importance of tracking. It's important to track your period so you know when you become postmenopausal on that 365th day of the year. It's important to track your biometric numbers so you can stay ahead of the changes in your body. It's important to track your steps and your weight training so you can see your progress. It's important to track your meals so you can see exactly what you're eating and what may be throwing you off track. So let me see. Are there any questions? I know I kind of went on a tangent there because I'm so passionate about this, and I just want to let you know that you don't have to live your life in pain. You don't have to live your life on medication. You don't have to, if you don't want to resort to hormone replacement therapy, you don't have to have that. It's an option, but you don't have to do it if you choose not to. So I just want to, just let you know that focus on your mindset, focus on your nutrition, your meals, and focus on your movement, because those are the key to living a well life into your 60s and beyond. Do I have any questions here? Let me see. I don't see any questions. So what I am going to say is thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, subscribe, like it, share it. I love your support as I grow this channel. And see you next time. And always remember, it's your life. Live it well.